Welcome to the Science of Hockey, the podcast where we break down the science behind ice hockey. I'm the analyst, your host, and every week we explore the data, research, and evidence that shape how we play, train, and understand the game of hockey. From biomechanics to performance psychology, we take you beyond the rink and into the research lab, giving you insights that go beyond hearsay and into what really makes the difference on the ice. Whether you're a player, a coach, a parent, or just someone passionate about the sport, we're here to bring you scientifically backed information in a language that's friendly and easy to understand. So grab your skates and let's dive into the science of hockey. Hello, hockey fans. This is the Science of Hockey, and I'm the analyst. Today, we're taking a closer look at elite female players and their nutrition. Find out how position-specific dietary strategies are shaping the future of the sport. From body composition to energy intake, discover how the science of diet and performance comes alive on the ice.
Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah?
Today we're going behind the scenes of elite women's ice hockey.
Okay.
Now I'm not talking about scores or highlights.
Yeah.
We're getting into the science.
Yeah.
The nitty-gritty of what fuels these athletes.
Okay.
It's kind of like all access to the locker room.
Okay.
But instead of smelling salts, we've got research papers.
That's right.
So it's not just watching the game.
Right.
It's breaking down the players themselves.
We have this fascinating research from the journal Nutrients,
Okay.
where scientists did a deep dive into a Spanish professional women's hockey team.
Wow.
They measured everything from body composition to what they were actually eating.
So we're talking about what these women are eating to fuel those drills.
Well, one of the things that jumped out right off the bat was how body composition varies depending on position.
Makes sense.
Just like in men's hockey.
Right.
You wouldn't expect a goalie to have the same build as someone, flying down the wing.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, right.
So what'd they find?
The goalkeepers, as you might expect, tended to be taller and heavier.
Okay.
And have a higher percentage of body fat, particularly in the abdominal area.
Okay.
Think about it. They need that extra core strength and stability to stay grounded in the net.
Okay.
To make those split-second saves.
So goalies are built like brick houses.
Yeah.
Sturdy and ready to block anything. What about the other positions?
Well, defenders were next in line when it came to height and weight.
Okay.
They're the ones battling in front of the net.
Right.
Clearing the puck.
Yeah.
So they need that strength and power, too.
Got it.
Goalies and defenders, the heavy hitters.
Literally.
Yeah.
What about the forwards?
Yeah.
The wingers and centers?
Those were our lean, mean speed machines.
Okay.
Wingers and centers were generally lighter, emphasizing agility and speed. They're the ones weaving through opponents.
Right.
Sprinting down the ice, making those quick plays.
So picture a cheetah versus a grizzly bear. And this isn't just genetics. Their bodies are literally adapting to the demands of their position.
It is fascinating how our bodies reflect our activity.
I'm already thinking about how my body is shaped by what I do every day.
Yeah.
Should I switch to goalie
AB.
to build some core strength?
Seriously, though.
Yeah.
Think about your own daily routine.
Okay.
What you're asking of your body. What's your body telling you?
All right. Point taken.
Yeah.
I'll stick to jogging for now. But let's get back to these hockey players.
Yeah.
The study didn't just measure them.
Right.
They also tracked what they were eating. Did their diets match the energy they were burning on the ice?
Well,
spill the tea.
That's where things get interesting. Remember those defenders and centers?
Yeah.
The ones putting in all that intense work? The study found they weren't eating enough to cover their energy expenditure.
Okay.
So they were actually in a state of low energy availability.
Okay.
And that's a red flag,
Yeah.
especially for elite athletes.
So even though they were probably eating more than the average person, it still wasn't enough to fuel their performance.
It can be.
Is that dangerous?
Imagine guarding against an offensive rush when your body's literally running out of fuel.
Oh, wow.
Performance takes a hit.
Yeah.
Recovery slows down. and the risk of injury goes up. And for female athletes specifically, chronic underfueling can lead to a cascade of problems known as the female athlete triad.
Okay.
We're talking disordered eating, menstrual irregularities, and even bone health issues like osteoporosis.
That's a lot.
This is a serious concern.
Yeah, we definitely need to unpack that a bit more. But first, I'm curious about what these athletes were actually eating.
Yeah.
What was the breakdown of their diets?
Well, that's the surprising part. They were actually eating a diet higher in fat and protein than recommended for athletes, and lower in carbohydrates.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Isn't hockey a high-intensity sport?
Yeah.
Don't they need carbs?
Exactly. Yeah. They burn through tons of carbs during those intense bursts on the ice.
Yeah.
But their diets weren't reflecting that the study actually found evidence of glycogen depletion, meaning their muscles were running low on their primary fuel source.
So they were eating a lot, just not the right stuff.
Right.
It's like putting diesel in a race car.
It's a bit of a mystery.
Okay.
But the researchers think it might be tied to broader dietary trends in Spain, like a shift away from that traditionally healthy Mediterranean diet we always hear about.
It's a good reminder that what's considered normal in your culture or even trendy might not be what your body needs.
Exactly.
This is a wake-up call for all of us. Think about our own energy balance, what we're fueling our bodies with.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be taking a closer look at my own plate after this.
For sure.
What else did this study uncover?
Absolutely.
Did they look at anything beyond food?
They also measured hydration,
Okay.
which is crucial for any athlete.
Yeah, I bet they're sweating buckets
Yeah.
under all that gear,
Yeah.
even if it's cold on the ice.
Well,
Did they find any surprises there?
even though they were drinking a decent amount of water overall, the study raised concerns
Okay.
about potential dehydration
Really?
during practices and games.
Interesting.
You see, playing in a cold environment can actually trick your body
Yeah.
into thinking it's not as thirsty.
So you might be dehydrated
Right.
without even realizing it.
Exactly.
What are the implications of that?
Well, even mild dehydration
Yeah.
can impair performance.
Okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Fatigue sets in faster. Reaction times slow down.
Right.
And their bodies have to work harder
Okay.
to regulate temperature.
So the takeaway for all of us
Yeah.
is to be mindful of our hydration, even when we don't feel super thirsty,
Right.
especially if we're active.
Absolutely.
Now, we've talked about
Yeah.
energy from food and staying hydrated.
Oh.
But there's one more piece
Yeah.
this nutritional puzzle.
Right.
We need to discuss micronutrients.
Okay.
I know micronutrients are vitamins and minerals,
Yeah.
but why are they so important?
They may be tiny,
Okay.
but they're mighty.
Right.
Think of them as the tiny
Okay.
but mighty support crew for your body's systems.
Got it.
And the study found some interesting things about the players' micronutrient intake.
Ooh, love a good plot twist.
Well, the good news is most of their vitamin and mineral levels were within a healthy range.
Okay.
However, they were low on a couple of key nutrients, vitamins D and E.
Low D and E. What's going on there?
Let's explore that further.
Okay.
After that quick break, we were just starting to dive into the world of micronutrients and how those tiny players can have a big impact on these athletes' health and performance. We discovered that these hockey stars had sufficient levels of most vitamins and minerals, but were coming up short on vitamins D and E.
Right. The case of the missing vitamins.
Yeah.
So let's unpack that.
Okay.
Why are vitamins D and E so important?
Well, vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin because our bodies produce it when our skin is exposed to sunlight.
Makes sense.
And since hockey is played indoors, these players may not be getting enough sun exposure to meet their vitamin D needs.
But why is vitamin D so crucial?
Vitamin D plays a critical role in building and maintaining strong bones. It helps our bodies absorb calcium, which is essential for bone health.
So a vitamin D deficiency could increase their risk of stress fractures and other bone injuries?
Absolutely.
That's not something you want
right
when you're trying to win a championship. It's not just about athletes, though.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all of us
Yeah.
who work desk jobs spend a lot of time indoors.
Yeah.
Should we be concerned about?
It's definitely something to be aware of. Vitamin D deficiency is actually quite common.
Okay.
And it's linked to a variety of health issues,
right.
not just bone problems.
Okay.
It can also impact immune function and muscle health.
Okay. So we need to make sure we're getting enough D.
Yeah.
What about vitamin E?
Vitamin E is a potent antioxidant, meaning it helps protect our cells from damage caused by free radicals that are produced during exercise.
So athletes with their intense training regimens might need even more vitamin E than the average person to combat all that oxidative stress. What's the takeaway for the rest of us who aren't necessarily training for the Olympics?
It's always best to get your nutrients from whole food sources whenever possible.
Right.
For vitamin D, think fatty fish.
Okay.
Like salmon, tuna mackerel, egg yolks, and fortified foods.
Okay.
Like milk and some cereals.
Got it.
Also provide vitamin D.
Makes sense.
And of course, safe sun exposure can help boost your body's own production of vitamin D.
Salmon for dinner tonight.
There you go.
What about vitamin E?
Nuts and seeds are your best bet for vitamin E.
Okay.
Especially almonds, sunflower seeds, hazelnuts.
Okay.
Plant-based oils like wheat germ oil, safflower oil are also good sources.
Okay.
And don't forget about leafy green vegetables.
Okay.
Like spinach and kale.
Got it.
They're nutritional powerhouses.
Okay, so we've got a shopping list forming.
Yeah.
Back to the study.
Okay.
Were there any other micronutrient surprises?
There was one other interesting finding.
Okay.
These players were consuming more than double the recommended daily intake of vitamin B12.
Double?
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
Well, vitamin B12 is primarily found in animal products. And remember, these players' diets were higher in protein than what's typically recommended.
Okay.
So their high B12 intake was likely just a reflection of their overall eating patterns.
So even though B12 is important, too much of a good thing can be a sign of an imbalance in your diet.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot, that balance that works for your individual needs.
Before we move on,
let's
circle back to that female athlete triad you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty serious.
The female athlete triad is a complex interplay of three interconnected conditions. Disordered eating, menstrual irregularities, and bone loss. Also known as osteoporosis.
So it's not just about calories in and calories out.
Right.
It's about the relationship between nutrition, hormones, and overall health.
Precisely.
What about the bone loss aspect?
Well, those same hormonal disruptions coupled with inadequate nutrition can also compromise bone health. This is because estrogen, a key hormone that protects bone density, often takes a hit when energy availability is low.
That's really concerning.
It is.
It sounds like this triad is a silent threat, especially for young athletes who might not even realize the long-term damage. What can be done to address this?
Early intervention is key. Recognizing the warning signs is the first step. Athletes, coaches, and parents should be aware of the red flags. Significant weight loss, changes in eating habits, menstrual irregularities, frequent fatigue, and recurring injuries.
So it's about paying attention to the whole picture.
Exactly.
What happens if someone suspects they might be struggling with a triad?
The good news is that with the right support, the female athlete triad is often reversible.
That's good.
It requires a multidisciplinary approach involving doctors, registered dietitians, and mental health professionals.
Makes sense.
And creating a culture that prioritizes health and well-being over extreme thinness or a certain body image is crucial.
We talked about how these players' diets were surprisingly high in fat and protein and lower in carbs than what's typically recommended.
Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to nutrition. The study findings highlight the importance of personalized nutrition and listening to your body's individual needs.
So how can our listeners figure out?
It's about tuning into how your body responds to different foods and eating patterns.
Okay.
Are you feeling energized and satisfied after meals?
Yeah.
Are you recovering well from workouts? Are you experiencing any digestive issues?
Okay.
Or energy slumps?
So it's about being a detective.
Exactly.
Paying attention to the feedback our bodies are giving us.
And if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed, working with a registered dietitian can be incredibly helpful.
Let's talk about hydration.
Okay.
The study raised concerns about potential dehydration, even though these players were drinking water.
You're right.
I'm guessing it's because it's easy to underestimate how much fluid we lose through sweat.
Our thirst mechanism isn't always the most reliable indicator. When you're bundled up in layers and the temperature is low, you might not feel as thirsty, but you're still sweating, especially during intense physical activity.
So we can't just rely on thirst.
Right.
What are some strategies?
Make it a habit to drink water throughout the day.
Okay.
Even if you don't feel thirsty.
Okay.
Keep a water bottle handy and sip regularly.
Got it.
And during exercise, it's important to drink even more to compensate for sweat losses.
What about sports drinks?
They can be beneficial, especially for longer or more intense activities where you're losing not just water, but also electrolytes, like sodium and potassium through sweat. Sports drinks can help replenish those electrolytes, which can improve performance and prevent cramping.
Okay.
But for most casual exercisers, water is usually sufficient.
So choose your hydration strategy based on your needs. And the intensity of your workout. We've talked a lot about the physical side of things, but we can't ignore the mental game. These elite athletes need incredible focus, resilience, and mental toughness to compete at such a high level.
That's a great question.
Could nutrition play a role in optimizing mental performance as well?
While the study we've been discussing focused primarily on the physical aspects of nutrition, there's growing evidence that what we eat can have a significant impact on brain function, mood, and our ability to handle stress, all of which are crucial for athletes.
So just like we need the right fuel for our muscles, we also need the right fuel for our brains.
Exactly.
Are there any specific nutrients that stand out?
Absolutely. For example, omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish, like salmon, as well as flaxseed and walnuts, have been linked to improved cognitive function and mood regulation.
Salmon is a double win.
There we go.
Any other brain-boosting nutrients?
Antioxidants are another important group. They help protect our brain cells from damage caused by stress and inflammation. And they're abundant in colorful fruits and vegetables.
So loading up on those can help keep your brain sharp and resilient.
Absolutely.
Colorful plates for a colorful mind.
That's right.
Were they specifically looking at mental performance?
While the study didn't directly measure mental performance, it's fascinating to consider how even small nutritional deficiencies might be impacting these athletes' ability to focus, make decisions under pressure, and manage the mental demands of the game. It's definitely an area ripe.
I'm sensing a future deep dive in the making.
There you go.
How can we apply this knowledge?
It's all about recognizing that food is information. Every bite we take sends signals to our brains, influencing our energy levels, mood focus, and even our resilience to stress.
So food is fuel for both body and mind.
Absolutely.
Any final words of wisdom before we move on?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Here's something to consider. We often approach nutrition with a very goal-oriented mindset. We want to lose weight, build muscle, improve performance. And those are all valid goals. But what if we shifted our perspective a bit?
I'm intrigued. Where are you taking this?
What if we started viewing nutrition as an act of self-care?
I love that.
A way to nourish and support our bodies and minds to help us thrive in all areas of our lives.
It takes the pressure off. And reminds us that food is more than just calories and macros. It's about how we feel, how we think, how we show up in the world.
Exactly.
It's about fueling our lives, not just our workouts.
And sometimes the most profound changes come from those subtle shifts in perspective.
Well, I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive into the world of elite women's hockey.
It's amazing how much we can learn from these athletes about not just physical performance, but mental well-being, too.
It's a constant reminder that what we fuel our bodies with has a ripple effect on every aspect of our lives.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. We've only scratched the surface of this fascinating topic, but hopefully we've sparked your curiosity to explore further.
That's right.
There's a whole world
of
nutrition and mental wellness out there waiting to be discovered.
For sure.
So keep learning, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep nourishing yourself. Both physically and mentally. Until next time, deep divers. Keep exploring. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're in the final stretch here of our exploration into the world of elite women's hockey. We've covered so much ground already.
We have.
From the demands of their positions to their dietary habits. But now it's time to shift gears. And take a closer look at something we haven't talked about, the mental game.
You're right.
We've been focusing on what these athletes are putting into their bodies. But what about what's going on inside their minds?
That mental fortitude, the focus, the resilience, they need to compete at the highest level.
We can have all the physical strength and stamina. But if our minds aren't in the game, we're not going to perform at our best.
No.
Think about those clutch moments in a game. That's when mental toughness really shines. So I'm curious, can we actually fuel our brain for those moments?
It's a fascinating area of research. While the study we've been discussing focused mainly on physical performance, there's growing evidence that what we eat can significantly impact our brain function, our mood.
So we're not just talking about preventing brain fog. We're talking about potentially boosting mental resilience, focus, maybe even decision-making skills.
It's definitely possible.
I'm thinking about those game-winning goals, those split-second decisions. Could nutrition play a role there?
Think about it. Just like our muscles need the right fuel to perform, our brains rely on a steady supply of nutrients to function optimally.
So if an athlete is struggling with focus or feeling mentally drained, it might not just be about pressure or training load. It could also be a sign that their brain isn't getting the nourishment it needs.
And that's where personalized nutrition guidance can be incredibly valuable.
It's like having a coach for your brain. I'm thinking about our listeners, those of us who aren't professional athletes, but still face mental challenges every day.
It all comes down to recognizing that food is information. Every bite we take sends signals to our brains, influencing everything from our energy levels and mood to our ability to concentrate and deal with stress.
So instead of just mindlessly grabbing whatever's quickest, we should be more mindful about choosing foods that nourish our brains.
It doesn't have to be that complicated. It's about prioritizing whole, unprocessed foods. Think colorful fruits and vegetables, healthy fats from sources like avocados and nuts, lean proteins, and whole grains.
And, of course, limiting those processed snacks, sugary drinks, and excessive caffeine. That can deplete your mental energy. Ditch the junk food and fuel up on the good stuff.
Pretty simple advice. But sometimes it's the simplest things that make the biggest difference.
Here's a thought to leave you with. As you continue your own deep dive into health and wellness.
We often approach nutrition with a very goal-oriented mindset. We want to lose weight, build muscle, improve our performance. But what if we shifted our perspective a bit? What if we started viewing nutrition as an act of self-care?
It takes the pressure off. And reminds us that food is more than just calories and macros. It's about how we feel.
Right.
How we think.
Exactly.
How we show up in the world.
Yeah. And sometimes the most profound changes come from those subtle shifts in perspective.
Well, I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive into the world of elite women's hockey.
It's amazing how much we can learn from these athletes about not just physical performance, but mental well-being, too.
It's a constant reminder that what we fuel our bodies with has a ripple effect on every aspect of our lives.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah.
We've only scratched the surface of this fascinating topic, but hopefully we've sparked your curiosity to explore further.
That's right.
There's a whole world
of
sports science, nutrition, and mental wellness out there waiting to be discovered.
So keep learning.
Yeah.
Keep questioning.
Right.
And most importantly, keep nourishing yourselves.
Yeah.
Both physically and mentally.
Until next time, deep divers.
Keep exploring. Thanks for tuning in to the Science of Hockey. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share it with your friends, teammates, or anyone who loves hockey as much as you do. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment to let us know what you liked, what you'd like to hear next, or any questions you have. Your feedback helps us make the show even better. Until next time, keep your skates sharp, your mind open, and keep chasing the science behind the game.